What if I told you that the Israel-Palestine conflict dominating today's headlines is actually a family feud between two brothers that has raged for over 3,000 years? This conflict traces back to Abraham, the father of nations, and his two sons, Isaac and Ishmael. Their struggle set the stage for a lasting battle over the Promised Land, a struggle that still continues today. The Bible provides us with remarkable insights into this ancient conflict, following the journey from God's covenant with Abraham to the establishment of modern Israel and the ongoing fight over this sacred ground. In this video, we'll explore the 3,000-year history of the Israel-Palestine conflict, revealing how biblical prophecies, ancient rivalries, and religious significance have all influenced this ongoing struggle. Whether you're familiar with the Bible or not, you'll discover the surprising roots of this conflict and understand how it has evolved from ancient times to the present day. Stay tuned because the biblical revelations about this conflict may change everything you thought you knew about the Israel-Palestine dispute. The origins of the Israel-Palestine conflict go all the way back to Abraham, the patriarch of both the Jewish and Arab nations. According to the Bible, God called Abraham to leave his homeland and journey to Canaan, where he promised that Abraham's descendants would inherit the land. In Genesis, God made a covenant with Abraham, saying, "To your descendants, I give this land from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates." This territory would later become known as Israel, but a crucial question lingered: who would inherit it? Abraham had two sons, Ishmael, born to Hagar, an Egyptian servant, and Isaac, born to his wife, Sarah. The birth of these two sons created a family divide that would shape centuries of conflict. Although Ishmael was Abraham's firstborn, God chose Isaac to carry on the covenant. According to Genesis, God promised that through Isaac, the chosen people of Israel would come. This decision caused a division. The descendants of Isaac would become the Israelites, while the descendants of Ishmael would become the Arab peoples. This sibling rivalry laid the foundation for today's conflict between Jews and Palestinians. From a biblical perspective, the dispute is about inheritance, not just of land, but of spiritual legacy. The tension between the descendants of Isaac, the Jews, and those of Ishmael, the Arabs, is seen as the root of the struggle over the land promised to Abraham. The concept of the Promised Land is central to understanding the Israel-Palestine conflict. After God chose Isaac over Ishmael, the descendants of Isaac, known as the Israelites, were considered the chosen people to inherit the land of Canaan, which eventually became Israel. After the exodus from Egypt, led by Moses, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness before entering the Promised Land. Under Joshua's leadership, they conquered Canaan and divided it among the 12 tribes of Israel. In the Bible, God specifies the boundaries of this land, which includes modern-day Israel, Palestine, and parts of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt. This land was viewed as the eternal inheritance of the Israelites, with Jerusalem at the center of their spiritual and political life. However, Palestinians, who are predominantly Arab Muslims, have their own deep connection to this land. Many trace their lineage back to Ishmael and see themselves as rightful heirs to the land promised to Abraham. From their perspective, Palestine has long been home to Arab peoples, even before the modern state of Israel was established. These competing claims to the land form the core of the Israel-Palestine conflict today. From a biblical viewpoint, the Israelites were promised the land by God, but the Palestinians, descending from Ishmael, also see the land as their birthright. After the Israelites conquered Canaan, they formed a loose confederation of tribes. Eventually, they sought a king, and Saul became Israel's first king. After his death, David from the tribe of Judah took the throne and made Jerusalem the capital. His son Solomon built the first temple, solidifying Jerusalem as the heart of Jewish religious life. After Solomon's death, the kingdom split into two, the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. The northern kingdom fell to the Assyrians, and the southern kingdom of Judah was later conquered by the Babylonians. The destruction of Jerusalem and the temple led to the exile of many Jews, marking a pivotal moment in their history. During their exile, Jerusalem and much of the land came under foreign rule, but the Jewish people held on to the promise of returning to their homeland and rebuilding their temple. This longing for a return to Israel is reflected in biblical prophecies about the restoration of the Jewish people. The Babylonian exile paved the way for centuries of foreign control over the land of Israel. From the Persians to the Greeks to the Romans, the land that the Israelites once ruled became a battleground for empires. Still, the Jewish people never lost hope that they would one day return to their homeland. A major shift came during Roman rule. The Romans conquered Judea, including Jerusalem. It was under Roman occupation that Jesus Christ was born, marking a turning point in the religious history of the region. Jerusalem remained central to Jewish religious life during Jesus' time, with the Second Temple as a symbol of God's presence. However, resentment against Roman rule grew among Jews who hoped for a Messiah to overthrow their oppressors and restore the kingdom of Israel. Jesus, however, preached a different message, focusing on a spiritual kingdom rather than a political one. His teachings spread throughout the Roman Empire after his crucifixion and resurrection, leading to the rise of Christianity. But tensions between Jews and Romans persisted, leading to a Jewish revolt in AD 66. Rome crushed the rebellion, destroying Jerusalem and the Second Temple in AD 70. This destruction devastated the Jewish people, who were forced into exile again. For the next 2,000 years, Jews lived without a homeland, while the land of Israel became home to a growing Arab population, which later embraced Islam after Muhammad's rise in the 7th century. In the 7th century, Islam spread across the Middle East. Arab armies conquered Jerusalem in AD 638, making it an important city in Islam. Jerusalem was not only significant to Muslims due to its connections to Judaism and Christianity, but also because of the Prophet Muhammad's night journey, during which he is believed to have ascended to heaven from the Dome of the Rock. This event made Jerusalem the third holiest city in Islam, after Mecca and Medina. Under Muslim rule, the land once known as Israel was called Palestine. The Arab population grew, and Jerusalem became a center of Islamic culture and learning. While Jews continued to live in the city, they remained a minority. For centuries, Palestine was under Islamic rule, eventually falling under the Ottoman Empire. The Jewish population remained small, though many longed for a return to their ancestral homeland. The next significant turning point in the Israel-Palestine conflict came in the late 19th century with the rise of Zionism, a movement seeking to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Zionism arose due to increasing anti-Semitism in Europe and the Jewish desire to return to their biblical homeland. The movement, led by figures like Theodor Herzl, aimed to establish a Jewish state in Palestine. Herzl's vision resonated with Jews, especially in Russia and Eastern Europe, where they faced violence and discrimination. In 1897, Herzl organized the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, declaring the goal of establishing a Jewish homeland in Palestine. At that time, Palestine was under Ottoman rule and predominantly inhabited by Arab Muslims, with smaller Christian and Jewish communities. Despite the Arab majority, the Zionist movement promoted Jewish immigration to Palestine. By the early 20th century, thousands of Jews were moving there, leading to tensions with the Arab population, who viewed the newcomers as a threat to their land and culture. These tensions grew, setting the stage for future conflict. World War II, 1914–1918, drastically changed the region. With the Ottoman Empire defeated, its territories, including Palestine, came under British control. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, in which Britain supported the idea of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, fueled both hope for the Zionist movement and anger among the Arab population. The British mandate over Palestine lasted from 1920 to 1948, during which Jewish immigration continued, leading to clashes and uprisings, such as the Arab Revolt of 1936–1939. The Holocaust during World War II resulted in the murder of 6 million Jews, strengthening international support for a Jewish homeland. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem as an international city. Jewish leaders accepted the plan, but Arab leaders rejected it, viewing it as unjust. On May 14, 1948, Israel declared its independence, leading to war with neighboring Arab states. Israel won the war, but many Palestinians became refugees, a key issue in the ongoing conflict. Since 1948, the struggle has continued, with Palestinians seeking self-determination and Israel maintaining control over the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. Efforts for peace, including the Oslo Accords, have not resolved the core issues. For many Christians, the conflict ties into biblical prophecy. Some see the reestablishment of Israel as fulfilling scriptures like Ezekiel 36:37, while others point to prophecies like the War of Gog and Magog. However, the Bible also calls for peace and understanding. Matthew 5:9, emphasizing the need for reconciliation between Jews and Arabs. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel. God bless you.